there. It is Wednesday, June 5, 2024, and this is Spay Neuter Network Live. I am Dr. Mark Stickney, and I'm broadcasting to you from our Spay Neuter Network studios here in San Antonio. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's super hot outside. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about some happenings with Spay Neuter Network, some things that are going on in our communities, and then we're going to answer some questions that y'all have and see what we need to talk about. So, speaking of things going on around in our communities, this month is National Adopt a Cat Month. June is National Adopt a Cat Month. So there are tons of kittens right now. Cat breeding season just ended, and now each one of those cats has kittens, and there are plenty of little kittens out there for anyone that would like to have a new cat at their house. So um, if you are going to adopt one, remember there's a few things that you want to make sure that you take care of, and that is making sure that you have a little litter box for them and a good high quality kitten food, plenty of water, and they are going to need to get their vaccines. There is a lot of information on our website at spayneuternet.org that has all kinds of information about our cat vaccines and kitten vaccine packages. It is also, June is also Foster a Pet Month. So if you can't adopt a cat, maybe you can foster one, and that kind of gives you the ability to have a cute little kitten or nice cat in your house for a little while to foster it, and then if it's not working out right, it can move on to someplace to be adopted. So there's a great benefit there, and it helps reduce intake at shelters of all of the kittens that are out there and cats that are out there right now that have been born recently. As far as Spay Neuter Network goes, it is super hot, and you know what's great when it's really hot is an ice cold beer. So this Thursday, you can join our executive director Jordan at White Rock Brewing Company for Paws and Pints, and she will be there from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. this Thursday. That is tomorrow at the White Rock Brewing Company, located at Beckley and Commerce. Go out, have a cold one, talk with her about the things that we're doing with Spay Neuter Network and pet ownership and all of the great things that we do for pets in our community and families in our community. It's Adopt a Cat Month and it's Foster a Pet Month, and all of those pets, all of those cats need vaccines, and so do our dogs. So Spay Neuter Network is having several free vaccine clinics this month, and we are having them in 4 of our different locations. If you are in Fort Worth, our free vaccine clinic is going to be this Saturday. If you're in Balch Springs, our clinic will be on June 15, which is next weekend. And then the following weekend, June 22nd, that Saturday, both in Crandall and in San Antonio, we will be having our free vaccine clinics there. So 4 opportunities for free vaccines this month: at the Fort Worth location this Saturday, Balch Springs on the following Saturday, the 15th, and then in San Antonio and Crandall on June 22nd. We also have 3 upcoming $20 spay neuter days for cats at all of our clinics. So that's $20 for a spay, $20 for a neuter. If you adopt a cat, that's something that you should be doing with your cat so that we don't have more little cats running around. So you want to take advantage of this, because it's hard to find a better deal than this. Our spay neuter days, our $20 spay neuter days, will be happening on June 11 in Crandall, on June 21st here in San Antonio, and on June 27 in Fort Worth. All of these $20 spay neuter days for our cats are for both owned as well as feral and community outdoor cats. Rabies, FVRCP vaccine, and ear tips will all be included with the surgery. You do not need to make an appointment for this. This is first come, first serve. arrive by 7 a.m. and we will take in as many cats as we can at all three of those locations on those days. So I know that is a lot of dates and a lot of things to remember. Good news is that all of that is on our website at spayneuternet.org, and you can also find it on our Facebook events page. So lots of great stuff. Free vaccine clinics, $20 spay neuter days for cats at all of our clinics. June is a big month. It's a big month, and especially if you are a cat, it's a big month. So please check out our all that information at spayneuternet.org, and we hope to see you at any of our locations and vaccine events very, very soon. All right, let's take a look at some questions. I see a June 15 at what time? Check that out on the website. Those times will vary by location. I have a couple of questions that came to me ahead of time, so let me go ahead and touch base with those, and then we'll move on to some of these other questions that are popping up here. So the first question I have regards cats and kittens, and the comment here is that my stray cat just had babies. She is not nursing them anymore. When does she need to get spayed is the first question. And the answer to that is that the best time to get her spayed is about 4 weeks after she has finished nursing. And that allows all of that mammary tissue to return back to normal. There's less blood vessels there, less bleeding. So that would be the ideal time to do it. We certainly could do it sooner if we needed to, but I usually will say about a month after they finish nursing that is the best time to get that done for her. The second part to that question is she had 8 babies. How do I know what their gender is? So this can be a challenging thing, even for us here at Spay Neuter Network. Typically, a kitten needs to be somewhere between 6 and sometimes as old as 10 weeks of age before we can really tell for sure. So if it has not yet been 6 weeks, go ahead and, since they've been born, you just go ahead and wait a little bit longer so that you don't frustrate yourself. But when you go ahead and lift up their tails and you're going to look there at their little booty butt, a female kitten will kind of have a little teardrop right below her anus, which is where the vaginal opening is, and it will be very close to the anus. And then a male cat, there'll be a little bit more space, and then you'll just see a little circle, just a little pinpoint dot, and that indicates that he's a male cat. And that can take some practice to kind of get good at as well, and if you try to do it too early, it can be really hard to tell. So about 6 weeks is usually the earliest that you can typically tell for certain, but that's how you would take a look. The other question that I have that has come through here is, my 3-year-old pit bull is plagued with dry skin and pimples appearing all over. How can I help her? So, poor pit bull dogs, as great as dogs as they are right up there in the top 3 dogs that have severe allergy problems. And certainly here in San Antonio and this part of Texas, allergies for people and for dogs can just make us miserable. In people, we get runny eyes and runny noses. Dogs get itchy skin and itchy ears and itchy paws. And because of the effects of the allergens on their skin, it damages, and they're scratching and itching, it damages the barrier there that helps protect their skin. And then they get these little pimples, which are little localized spots of infection from the skin damage. So how can you help her? There's a few, one of the things that I would definitely recommend is go and visit your local veterinarian so they can check out your dog, see what's going on, and recommend the best course of therapy. There are so many different ways that we can treat allergies now compared to just 10 years ago that can really help them out. But if you're looking for something that you can do in the meantime, you can give them an oatmeal shampoo bath, which will help soothe their irritated skin. And when you give those baths, you want to lather them up, and then you want to let that lather set for 10 minutes before you rinse it off, and that lets it really get into that skin and do its job. That's going to be one of the one of the ways that you can help them right away. Another thing that you can do is when they come inside after they've been playing, just take a cool washcloth and wipe off their paws and wipe off their faces and help get some of those allergens, all the grass seeds, pollen, everything they've been exposed to off of their face, and that can help as well. Let's see here. I saw there were a couple of questions that came through. All right. How can I get rid of fleas on a kitten? I've tried so many things that are not working. I'll tell you what, so fleas are so frustrating and they are everywhere. And it never got very cold this winter time. And because of that, the fleas and their eggs never had a really big die off. Plenty of them survived through the winter. So now we not only have all of those fleas from last season, but they're all laying eggs and we've got brand new fleas hatching and they're every place. So the one of the challenging things about getting rid of the fleas is that I can do a lot of things to get rid of the fleas right away, but there are always going to be new fleas in the environment right now that are going to try to hop back on them. So what you're doing may be working. It's just that there are so many new fleas, new hungry fleas ready to hop on that's causing the problem. So there are at Spay Neuter Network we have a couple of different products that are great for cats and taking care of their fleas. One of those is Celerid, and the other is Bravecto. Both of those are topical anti flea medications. They go on the skin between the shoulder blades, and Celerid lasts for a month, is good for a month after application, and Bravecto is good for 3 months after application. So that really those are both really good products. The thing to remember is that if you have a heavy flea infestation, you may continue to see live fleas from time to time for up to 3 months before that entire population has died. So if you use a dose of Bravecto, which will last for 3 months, you may still see fleas hopping on them for several weeks after you give that first dose. And that doesn't mean the fleas aren't dying. They're dying, but there's just more new fleas that are hopping on them. And you've got to help let that whole life cycle of fleas die before you're going to see the results that you're looking for. In the case of Celerid, you would want to treat for 3 continuous months before you would give up on that and say that isn't doing the job. If you have a very young kittens, something that you can do right away to get the fleas off of them, because some of these products they're only labeled for kittens up to a certain age and older. So if you have very young kittens that are just covered in fleas, you can give them a bath in Dawn dishwashing detergent and bathe them and rinse that off really well. And what that actually does is it doesn't have any sort of a residual anti-flea effect, but it will drown basically the fleas that are on them right now. So you'll get rid of the fleas for the moment while you are able to acquire something else that will be more long term. Let's see. What's good for fleas for dogs? So once again, I'm going to come back to the things that we have here at Spay Neuter Network because there are things that we recommend and things we know we can stand behind. And one of the best things that we can use for dogs is the Bravecto. Now for the dogs, that's an oral tablet that you give them, and it lasts for 3 months. So that's going to take care of the fleas on your dog for 3 months. We also have Celerid for dogs, and that will take care of the fleas for a month. And it's also a heartworm preventative as well. So while we are waiting for more questions to come in, the heat is just absolutely terrible here in San Antonio. The temperatures are in the triple digits, and that doesn't even count in the heat index. So it's really hot out there. And one of the things that we want to be aware of with our dogs is, when we go out for a walk, we're wearing shoes, right? When they go out for a walk, they're not. They've got dog paws and dog pads, and we want to be very careful with them when we go out to the dog park, out to take a walk around the block or whatever, because that asphalt can get incredibly hot. When it's 85 degrees outside, the temperature of the asphalt can get up to 120 degrees. So, and then when it's as hot as it is right now, that their paws can burn in just a matter of minutes. So, a good rule of thumb for walking your dog is that if you wouldn't put your hand on the pavement for longer than 5 seconds because it's so hot and you'd want to pull your hand away, that's probably an indication to not take your dog out for a walk at that time. Take advantage of the cooler mornings or the evenings after the sun is set, or they also make dog boots that some dogs will tolerate and can walk around, and it will help protect their feet. Let's see. My dog got out and came home with a cut on his nose and a hole by his nose. Should I take him to the vet or can I treat it at home? I would recommend taking your dog to the vet. And there's a few reasons for that. So, number one is the vet's going to be able to determine exactly how deep and how involved that cut and that hole are, and be able to do the most effective treatment right off the bat for it. The other thing is that depending on what ended up causing the cut or the injury of whatever sort, that there's definitely a risk of infection there, and the veterinarian will be able to assess that, clean that with some antiseptic that will also not be damaging or irritating to the tissues, and then select the most appropriate antibiotic for that injury. So I would definitely recommend taking that dog to the vet to get that seen. In the meantime, you can clean it with some warm soap and water. But I would go. I think he might have gotten a fight with another dog. Then you definitely want to get that taken a look at, because dogs and cats both have really dirty mouths. So much bacteria in their mouths, and any dog bite needs to be evaluated and most likely have antibiotics started. The we people have pretty gross mouths, and we brush our teeth frequently, and dogs don't. So go get that checked out. My Chihuahua is feeling depressed and won't eat and throws up. We did get a new puppy, but he started acting like it before we got the puppy. So that is that the possibilities for what's going on there are numerous. We could have some sort of systemic disease going on. We could have something local to our gastrointestinal tract. This is going to be a thing that you'll want to go see your veterinarian for, so they can assess your dog, take its vital signs, put their hands on the little dog's belly, see if they can feel a reason why that dog might be vomiting. If we're depressed, that means that we definitely don't feel good. Maybe check some blood work. I would definitely get that taken a look at by a veterinarian as well. Let's see. All right. So as we have some more questions coming in, the another thing that I would mention, and this is going to be, I think, of real importance with our vaccine clinics coming up, is how important it is to have your pet vaccinated for rabies. And especially here, that not only is that a law that your dog has to be vaccinated for rabies, but there are, as the warm weather has come out, there's all kinds of critters that have come out now. And those are, things like raccoons, things like skunks. And if your dog spends time outside and you're not necessarily watching them all the time, those skunks and those raccoons can end up around your house, and they can get into a fight with your pet. And both of those animals are known vectors for the rabies virus. So definitely we'd want to have your pet vaccinated for rabies and protected before they ran into one of those critters. Or for that matter, if they did get into a dog fight, we don't know if that other dog is vaccinated for rabies or not. So you want to make sure yours is. So go ahead and take advantage of those vaccine clinics we have coming up this month, and get your pets vaccinated for rabies and all the other things that they might need. Distemper parvo and bordetella. We get our cats vaccinated for rabies and for feline upper respiratory disease and feline leukemia virus, which is spread from cat to cat. So take advantage of those opportunities of our free vaccine clinics to get that done. So speaking of skunks, oh, here's a question. We'll come back we'll come back to that if we have a chance. Okay, if our pets are indoor only, do we still need to do all the vaccinations, not including rabies, obviously? So you know, here's here's the thing that I always think of, especially with dogs. We say that they're indoor only. My dogs spend most of their time indoors, but I also know that I let them out in the yard, and they go and run around, or they go with me to someone's house where they have dogs. There's all kinds of little opportunities where they're going to come into contact with other animals. I am a big advocate of having your pets vaccinated. And if they're younger dogs, parvovirus is terrible this spring. And that's the kind of a virus that you can bring into your house off your shoes from walking around in a yard or in an area where another dog had parvo. And now you've brought that into your house, and your new puppy now is exposed to it. And you didn't really even do it. You didn't do anything. It just happened. But there we are. And now we've got this uh, life-threatening disease. Um, the If your dog goes outside after it's been raining at all, you want to think about having your pet vaccinated for leptospirosis, which is a bacterial disease that's spread by rodent and squirrel urine into little stream into in their urine. And when those animals run around and they go to the bathroom in a little puddle or something like that, now our dog is outside playing, and they go and take a drink out of the puddle because they're dogs and they're playing, or they go and run through a puddle and now their feet are wet, and they come back in the house, and now they're licking their paws dry, and now they've got this bacterial disease that can cause kidney and liver failure. Um, if I'm a cat owner, my cat's indoor all the time, but I go around wherever someone else may have another cat, and that cat happens to have upper respiratory disease and sneezes on me, and now I've got that virus on me, and I go home, I can take it to my cat too. So I guess what I'm really saying is that. It's great for our pets to be indoors. That's wonderful, the pampered life, but there's still so many opportunities for them to be exposed to different diseases that we don't even think about. So definitely go ahead and get them vaccinated. How old does my puppy have to be neutered? So really young, 2 months and 2 pounds of age is where we have our cutoff at. So they can be neutered, they can be spayed, cats and dogs, when they're 2 months old. And that has been shown to be safe for them. And at that age, they bounce back like nothing even happened. I mean, most of them 2 hours later, they're ready to play and be little kittens. It's really amazing, and little puppies. So now is the time. So get their vaccine series started, and then when they're 2 months of age, let's get them in and get them done. All right. So um, sometimes our pets get sprayed by skunks. That certainly has happened to me. And I go outside at night to go put something in the trash, and I can smell that there's a skunk in the neighborhood somewhere. So, I know they're around. And if our every now and then a dog is going to get sprayed by a skunk, and when that happens, there's the kind of the old advice was to give them a bath with tomato juice, which actually has been found now that just makes them smell like skunk plus tomato. So it doesn't really do what you want it to do. Now, one of the best things that you can do is number one, don't bring them in the house, and number two, give them a bath in warm water and a mild shampoo immediately. Wash them once, give them a bath, wash them once, rinse that off, and then give them another bath. Let that set for 10 minutes, and then rinse that off. And that's going to be your best bet for getting rid of most of that sprayed skunk smell. So keep that in mind if you find yourself in that situation, and I certainly have, and it's not any fun. And also, I'm glad my dogs were vaccinated for rabies too, because who knows what happened with that skunk. All right. So June again is Adopt a Cat Month and Foster a Pet Month. So um, if you've been thinking about a kitten, this is kitten season. You know, the Christmas kittens, those are hard to come by because that's not really when mating season is for cats. But right now, there are kittens everywhere. And if you've been thinking about it, this is the time. There's a lot of great resources available for you, including on our website at spayneuternetwork.org. Um, and we have, if you do that, or if you have a cat already, remember that this month we have a lot of our free vaccine clinics this month. And we'll be doing free rabies, free FVRCPs, DHPPs. So lots of letters for a lot of different kinds of vaccines. Those are happening this on Saturdays all month long in Fort Worth this Saturday, in Botch Springs on the 15th, and then in Crandall and here in San Antonio June on June 22nd. And then if you've got a cat and it's at least 2 months old, we also have our $20 spay neuter clinic, spay neuter days coming up this month, and we've got three of those. First is June 11 in Crandall, and the second one is June 21st in San Antonio, and the third one is June 27 in Fort Worth. And again, that is not by appointment. That is a show up by 7 a.m. and we will admit as many as we are able to get done that day. And they will also be getting a free rabies vaccine and a free FVRCP vaccine and an ear tip as well. This is for owned cats. This is for feral cats. This is for community outdoor cats. This is for cats. So it's a great month to be a cat because you're going to do something that's going to make them a healthier pet, and is going to help reduce pet overpopulation in our neighborhoods. And it is a great opportunity to take advantage of that $20 surgery. That's just wonderful. Again, for more details on those things and reminders of the days, check out our website spayneuternet.org, and also take a look at our Facebook events page as well. And then after you've gotten your cat, after your cat's been vaccinated and or spayed, or you've done whatever you need to do with your dog, remember this Thursday to join our executive director Jordan at White Rock Brewing Company for Paws and Pints event. And that is just it's a fun place to be. She's a fun person. She'll have all kinds of interesting things to tell you, and will be able to answer any questions that you have. And that is at White Rock Brewing Company at Beckley and Commerce this Thursday, tomorrow. So that sounds like a lot of fun. I wish I was closer. I would definitely be there myself. It is hot out there. Remember that your pets need to have access to clean clean water, and if it's cool water all the time, that's even better because they cool themselves. Unlike us where we sweat, they cool themselves by panting. And if it's hotter outside than it is with of their body temperature, they can get way too hot way too fast. Let's see. I have another question. My dog has a very bad breath, like a dead animal smell. So there are a couple of possibilities there for what could be going on. One is that dogs develop a lot of plaque and a lot of tartar on their teeth, and that can just smell bad. If you're Depending on the age of your pet, and if they've ever had a dental cleaning done or have get their teeth brushed, you also could have a tooth root abscess, so an infection around one of the tooth roots in there, or a fractured tooth has become infected. So those are going to be good reasons to get your pet checked out, and Spay Neuter Network does dental cleanings. So take a look at our website there for those locations and how those services are offered, so that that may be something we are able to help out with. It's been great talking with everybody today, and we will be here on the first Wednesday of July to do this all again. How many times do you need to bathe a dog? This will be our last question here before I sign off. You should never need to bathe your dog more than once a week. Unless they have some sort of a medical problem that requires that. Otherwise, you'll be drying out their skin and causing more problems than you are helping. Everybody have a great day, have a great month. Remember to take good care of our pets, and that we here at Spay Neuter Network are here to help you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.